It's Wednesday, October 22nd, and a brand new game has just dropped. Over the next few weeks, my friends and I were hopping on calls as I streamed our playthrough, making dumb decisions, meeting characters we adored, and arguing about the ones we couldn't stand at first. Every time we hopped on to play, the more this game has become one of my favourites, and before we knew it, we were invested in the story and the theories for the upcoming chapters. I'm talking about Dispatch. Now that the final episode has officially been released, it feels like the perfect moment to celebrate everything we love about this game. So, I took some time, and I thought, why not create a Dispatch OC, but unlike my other videos, not just for myself, but for my friends too. Getting started, I instantly messaged my best friends of all time, Olivia, Jazz, and Maya, with a simple, hear me out, what if we had a Dispatch OC team? Where they were all obviously instantly down for this, which led to me instantly setting up a Pinterest board so we could come up with the visuals for our heroes and villains. Instantly, I knew I wanted to make my character an angel. If you don't know me at all, you might be able to notice my appreciation for angelic themed characters. I wish I knew why, but I do, so of course I've had to make another one, and I don't regret it. Before we fully get into this video, I want to give a quick disclaimer to let you know that this video includes some hints of darker themes and story elements relating to these original characters. This may include fictional experiments, psychological and moral conflicts. Nothing is shown graphically, but I wanted to give a small warning just in case. I hope you enjoy this video. For Jass's OC, he wanted a character which was a ghostly, a little eerie, and a little crazy, inspired by Mojito from JGK's personality, minus if you know, you know. Maya took a little extra time to decide. This is one of her first OCs, and when she finally responded, she wanted her character to be inspired by a mix of Greek mythologies. Specifically, I focus on the Empusa, one known to drain the life of men, along with others known for their beauty blending with danger, and overall known for their seductive natures. We talked through some ideas and decided to pick specific traits that would capture the feel Maya is wanting for this character. And as for Olivia, who basically gave me full creative freedom, I wanted to design something that would suit her current character line. After coming up with a few ideas, I thought of blood manipulation. It's a powerful ability with the right user, but I didn't want to follow the usual super OP portrayals I've recently been seeing in the media. With these ideas in mind, I was ready to start working on the concepts of the characters. How it started. In 1984, deep within the countryside in the United Kingdom, the agency Knowledge, Operations and Research Response, known to everyone as CORE, began its biggest and most riskiest project yet. One that the general public would never hear about, and most officials were never meant to know existed. It was called Spectre. Born from the curiosity of the greatest and most arrogant scientific minds, this project began during the time of the global unease, other nations across the globe seeing a sudden rise in superpowered individuals across centuries. Heroes materializing from thin air, living weapons changing the balance of power overnight. Instead of feeling threatened, CORE's alumni felt confident. Too confident. They believed they could not only match these new metas, but surpass them. Why wait for random mutations, cosmic accidents, or divine blessings when science can manufacture something better? Years started to pass, experiments came and went, and to support this program, entire facilities were constructed beneath decommissioned bases, abandoned hospitals, a lot more spaces spread throughout the land. These experiments were carried out no ethical committee would ever approve of, using bribes, volunteers, prisoners, and missing people who wouldn't be missed. These experiments were carried out on a level nobody had seen before. Genetic splicing to mimic mythological figures, sensory deprivation, and overload trials meant to awaken new forms of perception and much more. Spectre didn't just want to make superhumans. They wanted to manufacture legends and break anyone who didn't survive the transformation. Chapter 1: Crimson. Project Crimson was one of the final projects to come out of Core, born powerless into the UK's most celebrated superhero families. Mabel Wright was the youngest of the Wright children, which came as a surprise to the parents who had expected another prodigy. Her older siblings manifested extraordinary abilities almost from birth, leaving Mabel as the ordinary one. But while she lacked those powers, she more than made up for it with her determination. From a young age, Mabel worked tirelessly to prove herself, mastering combat techniques, strategy, and endurance to impress her family. However, every success by her siblings started to overshadow every attempt she had ever tried. However, everything changed one evening at a gala hosted by the nation's elite. The Wright family attended as always, maintaining their impeccable reputation. It was there that Mr. A. Eversley noticed her, not for what she already possessed, but for what she could become. While others her age never pushed themselves, Mabel had spent every day perfecting herself, owning her mind and body through willpower, and he knew, then and there, she would be the perfect test subject to complete this team. Upon the Wrights having an offer for their youngest to finally gain superhuman powers, they instantly agreed. If all of their family were heroes, they'd be unstoppable. Little did they know, enrolling her would be the final time seeing her. The process was time-consuming, at first testing her genetic compatibility with which powers would suit her best. And that's when it happened. Blood control. From there, the process was grueling, testing every limit of the mind and the body. They trained her less than the previous subjects, only because they knew how bad it could turn. Chapter 2. The Spirit. I'm not entirely sure what Jazz plans for the long term for Spirit, but from what I do know, Project Spirit stands apart from the rest of Core's subjects. Unlike most of them, Spirit was one of the earliest naturally born powered individuals, existing long before Core ever set its eyes on manufacturing legends. Spirit didn't begin as a hero, or at least not in the way that the public understands the word. After a catastrophic failure known by a well-known hero, someone Spirit cared deeply about was let down. That moment shattered his faith in the heroes and exposed what he saw as the hypocrisy behind the capes and symbols. In the aftermath, grief twisted into anger, and anger into purpose. Spirit became a villain, not out of cruelty, but out of disillusionment, a way to prove that heroes weren't as flawless as the world believed. Despite that descent, Spirit has always been an outlier. He is light-hearted, silly, and openly goofy in a world that tries to relentlessly strip those traits away. Even under Core's conditioning, that part of him never fully disappeared. To most civilians, he comes across as unstable and crazy even. But beneath that erratic behavior is someone with a genuinely good heart. One that still wants to protect others, even if he's no longer trusting the system that failed him. Spirit's powers lean towards the ghostly and paranormal, allowing him to phase, manifest, or linger between states of existence. Prolonged exposure to him has an unsettling effect. His presence can slowly drain the sanity of others, blurring reality and amplifying fear. Whether this is an intentional part of his powers or a side effect of his mental health state remains unclear. Chapter 3. The Impusa. Born as Lyra, very little is known about her early life, by choice or by loss. What Core does know is that she was the second confirmed individual to be born with supernatural abilities under their observation, long before the agency perfected its methods of containment and control. Inspired by the myth of the devil Impusa, Lyra reflects her origin. From the moment she was taken into Core's custody, she proved herself to be influential, cunning, and unnervingly self-aware. She understood people far better than they understood her, while others resisted through force or fear. Lyra resisted through manipulation. She lied with ease, she deceived with intent, and she always knew exactly what she wanted. Lyra quickly learned how to put staff members against one another, feigning compliance, exploiting sympathy, and feeding just enough truth to remain believable. She played the role Core needed her to play, while quietly bending the system to her advantage. Protocols were altered, restrictions were loosened, privileges were granted, all without anyone fully realizing they had been manipulated. Unlike other subjects, Lyra was never truly contained. She allowed Core to believe they were in control. Project files describe her as cooperative, adaptable, and promising. Internal notes, buried deep and heavily redacted, tell a different story. They warn of her influence over personnel, her psychological dominance, and her unsettling ability to remain several steps ahead at all times. Lyra was not shaped by Core. She shaped them. Chapter 4: The Angel. Originally born in the UK without any powers, and for the first 10 years of her life, everything was normal. Despite being born into a slightly poor family with slightly forgetful parents, her brother was always there to cheer her up and protect her. That was until Project Spectre was created, where, for a price, she was sold to this organization in order to keep her family out of debt, but also for the safety of their daughter. At first, it was great. She made some new friends, and even though she was slightly awkward, she was settling in. But when she turned 12, the test started to run. The first few nothing happened. That was until the 4th test. Her wings slowly started to grow in. It was painful, but it worked. That's when the greater test started. Seeing how much pain the wings could bear, from breaking to even slicing them off, they regrew. Time and time again, getting stronger, but the pain is still painful. Despite these tests, they wanted to go bigger. Having one of the first few successful experiments, they wanted to try more, which is when the 15th experiment happened. That changed a lot. Now, with brand new powers alongside just her wings, she was deemed the Angel, being able to form divine light and have a sixth sense. But at a cost. The light in the room faded. She could see when she wasn't using her divine powers, but it was darker than usual. And when she used the divine powers, it was black. Pitch black. Blind. For the next few years, Angel was dismantled and reconstructed piece by piece. She was conditioned to operate with and without her eyes. But where many adapted through discipline or will, Angel survived for endurance. Sight deprivation was only the first step. She was submerged in absolute darkness for weeks at a time, stripped of all visual references, and forced to understand the world through sound, pressure, rhythm, and instinct alone. Every mistake was corrected immediately. Every moment of hesitation was punished without mercy. Core didn't train her to be human. They trained her to be deployable. She was subjected to relentless close-quarter combat drills and rapid response simulations designed to overwhelm and exhaust. Failure only resulted in harsher conditions. Success simply raised the standards. Yet, in the absence of light, something within her began to change. During the longest periods of sensory deprivation, she started to perceive faint glimmers in the darkness, soft glows that didn't come from the environment, but from her powers itself. What had once manifested purely as a defensive, angelic force began to evolve. These pale lights formed outlines around living beings, subtle silhouettes shaped by energy rather than flesh, guiding her movement and revealing others long before sound or touch could. The darkness, meant to blind her, became the catalyst that taught her truly how to see the world. By the end of her training cycle, Angel no longer questioned orders. She no longer required sight to navigate a battlefield or eliminate targets. Her movements were precise, her demeanor calm and almost serene, an unsettling contrast to the violence she could unleash in seconds. To Core, she was a success. To the world, she didn't exist. Chapter 5. Working Together. And then the Phoenix Program. Their escape wasn't planned in the way most people would imagine. There was no grand rebellion, no single moment of defiance. It was a small series of quests, quiet decisions, shared looks, whispers, and trust built under years of suffering. By the time Angel turned 19, Crimson and Pusa and Spirit had learned each other's names, who they were before this life, and what they're known for now. They were forced to fight one another, enough to recognize each other's patterns, weaknesses, and blind spots. But what Core underestimated was where one failed, another compensated. Where one hesitated, another acted. When the moment came, it was their teamwork that freed them. Powers alone wouldn't have been enough. Crimson was great at planning. Angel was overly aware of the surroundings, knowing who was walking where and when. Spirit could find items needed, and Pusa was great at tricking those who managed to slip past. Security protocols collapsed under coordination Core hadn't anticipated. By the time alarm sounded, the facility was already long behind them. For the first time in their lives, they were free. Freedom, however, didn't come with direction, with no identities, no money, and no understanding of the world beyond containment. The group survived the only way they knew how, together. They drifted through the shadows of society, relying on petty crimes to eat and sleep somewhere dry. Nothing violent, nothing reckless, just enough to stay alive. They stayed under the radar for years, growing older, harder, and more aware of what they had been denied. 6 years later, the past caught up with them. Their arrests were quiet, deliberate, too precise to be coincidence. Instead of prison sentence, they were given an offer: extradition to the United States, participation in a classified initiative known as the Phoenix Program, a second chance, framed as service. Refuse, and Core's files would be reopened. They obviously accepted, and in the US they were assigned a dispatcher named Chase. Loud and sharp-tongued and completely unfiltered. He swore constantly, spoke plainly, and treated them like people rather than assets. It was jarring at first. Most agents tried to provoke them, assert control, or remind them of what they were. Chase did none of that. He respected their boundaries, listened when they spoke, and trusted them to make the calls in the field. Under his watch, they became team aces. They weren't perfect. They argued, pushed back, and questioned authority. But when it mattered, they did what they believed was right. Not because they were ordered to, but because they chose to. For the first time, they weren't being deployed as weapons. They were being given the chance to rise from what they had survived. I will save the day.
I will save the night.
Wait, isn't it still daytime?
Were you in the bathroom with the lights off?
Why do you care? I'm a grown man.
You're so odd.
I'm drunk. Can you pick me up? Never mind. I'm home.
Yeah, I know. I'm the one that picked you up and dropped you off at home.
I want the oven to heat up.
Get inside it. You'll toast it up real warm. I tried to be smooth and I failed.
Did you just tell me to kill myself?
Guess what I'm about to get?
On my nerves.
Can we talk about fish?
Of course we can.
They think they're better than me.
How dare they?
What did you do today?
Walked.
I slept.
We live such extravagant lives, you and I.
Good morning, everyone! Hope you're all feeling great today!
Who the fuck are you?
Mom, pick me up. I'm scared, please.
Where did our sarcastic bitch go? What the Sigma?
What the skibbity?
What the fish?
What the fuck?
Yeah, I heard you. I'm coming.
I swear this better be important.
Hope has arrived.
Oh, fine. I'm here. Let's get this over with.
Everything's going our way. Let's keep this up, aces.
Oh, this just keeps getting better.
Did you see that? I almost impressed myself.
Nice work. Aces, I'd give us all a gold star, but we'd probably lose them.
If this is what being a hero means, I hope it's worth it.
I'm not okay, but thanks for asking in advance.
I'm sorry. I should have done better.
Fantastic. Everything sucks. Can we go home now?
I just need a breather.
Someone remind me why I signed up for this again?
It's okay. I can still, fight.
Ouch! I swear if one more thing hits me, ouch! Right!
Chase, I'll be back in action in 2 working days. Robert, I'll be back in action in like 2 working days.
Well, this went exactly how I planned. Totally.
I swear you get more annoying every time.
Why do I even bother? Really, enlighten me.
Why won't you listen? I've warned you enough times.
Bravo. Truly spectacular. Disaster level spectacular.
You dare oppose the heavens, foolish?
Oh, please. Like you had a chance anyway.
Please stop. Make it stop.
Great. Just great. This day keeps getting better.
Despite the misfortune in their lives, aces now strive to be the best heroes they can be, even if they aren't fully with it. They were never meant to become more than failed experiments buried away from the spotlight, but they knew in order to make change, they have to do things to let it happen. If this video helped you understand their world even just a little, then I'd really appreciate it if you left a like. It helps more than you know, and it lets me know if you want to see more deep dives, lore, and insight like this. This isn't the end of their story. It's only the moment they stepped into the light, scared, unbroken, and finally free. Thank you all for the support you've been giving me recently, and if you want to see specific videos, let me know in the comment section down below. Until next time, stay creative. This is Team Aces, out.
The issue where if I do a funny voice for too long, that's the only voice I can do for like an hour.
Ka-chan?
So like, if say I started doing a Kermit the Frog voice, that would be all I would be doing. It's not Kermit. I've lost Kermit. That's rough. I've lost
Where is Kermit?
Where is Kermit?
He's frog.
Kermit.
Oh my...
Wait, I need to find. I'm gonna hate myself if I can't do Kermit anymore. Really? No, I've lost it, man.
No,
We're not friends anymore. You're not invited to my birthday party.
What's up?
What's up?
What's up? Me mama
Me,
moo.
mama, moo. Shut
Mimi
the-
mama moo, Mimi mama
Move
moo,
around
mama moo.
while
Pump up the jam. Pump
Pump
it
it
up.
up.
pump up the jam.
Okay, I'm gonna try an American accent because I think that'll be so funny. Good, based, sigma, ligma, balls, 6, 7. Okay, anyway. That was a whole 11 seconds, wait. And another 14. Okay, anyway. I swear, this better be impossible. I can't fucking do it!
This is the new voice for Spirit. We gotta start again.
Jesse.
I'm Walter White.
If I die, it's
Crimson, we need to cook.
My water bottle's been leaking.
Oh no. I will say that's just my voice. Hold on, gang. I'm a bit shy.
What the fuck? I'm trying to make something of myself. But I put some balls to find my fucking face. Thank you for listening.